Today we'll be trying out Uberti's Wells Fargo Revolver. I'm Dustin and you're watching Guns of the West. Well, let's start with just a close-up overview of the little Wells Fargo. And I should mention, there's really no evidence that this was called the Wells Fargo gun. And I want to give a big public shout-out and thank you to my friend Duke Frazier, who's just a human encyclopedia on Colt revolver information. He's done a lot of research on this and found no evidence that Wells Fargo bought these in any large quantities. Not that it's impossible, but Uberti just calls it that, so that's what we'll call it for this video, the Wells Fargo Revolver. It is a 31 caliber gun, so very, very small projectiles. Just a 5-shot cylinder, about a 4-inch barrel, and everything, it just seems like it's in miniature compared to the other cap and ball revolvers you've seen on the channel. You can even see there is no little spring-loaded clip on the wedge. It just pushes right out. And, big thing you'll notice, no loading lever on this gun, which means this cylinder has to be loaded off the gun, as you'll see in just a moment. And with this not really being Wells Fargo, what it basically is just the 1849 pocket model from Colt, minus loading lever. Although this version of it without the loading lever, I believe was introduced in about 1851. Well, now that you've had a good close-up look at it, why don't we get it loaded up and have some fun? Alright, I've gone ahead and taken the gun apart, and it comes apart just like all the other cap and ball Colts, so I didn't bother demonstrating that on screen. And the powder charge I'm going to use is just 12 grains, and we'll start with that and see how it goes. So I will just pour that into a chamber. And the projectiles I'm going to use, I could not find any .330 round balls just for sale as they are, which is the size that it takes. So what I got is just double-aught buckshot, which happens to be .330. So we'll now add that to the chamber, and with no loading lever on the gun, the way these are done historically is just pressed in with the, as I lose the cylinder there, pressed in with the base pin of the revolver. So we'll just go ahead and give that a push down firmly, and then I'm going to top that with some of the Guns of the West black powder bullet lube. And of course, there's always a link in the description down below for the Guns of the West store where you can get all this stuff. So we've got that topped off. I will go ahead and finish the other chambers off camera and be right back. Alright, all of the chambers are loaded and greased. And another reason for using the grease, you may have noticed I was able to start the ball just with my thumb. It's not shaving a lead ring, it's very tight, but this will also help just make sure any sparks don't get down under the ball into the powder. As I've said before, that's not the main purpose of the lube, but it is kind of a last resort little help. And also, if you can find just pure lead 330 balls, that will be better, as these are a little harder, and I don't plan on using these a lot in the gun, as it can be a little hard on the metal over time. Well, let's go ahead and put that onto the gun. I've not capped the nipples yet. I don't recommend doing that off the gun. Last thing you want to do is drop a cylinder that's capped and end up having it go off hitting the ground. Let's get the barrel back on here. Pull that wedge down. There it goes into place. We just give that wedge a push through. Make sure it's good and tight. And now for the caps, I'll be using Remington number 10 caps. So I'll go ahead and get those onto each of the nipples tightly. And then we'll be ready to shoot. Alright, well, we've got one of Caldwell's new steel targets downrange. Let's see if I can make any type of a good shot group with the Wells Fargo. See how high it might have gone. I'm going to get him a little lower. Well, where's it going? Alright, I may have been compensating for shooting high just a little too much, so let's try that again. I've got it loaded up with 5 more shots. All right, let's go take a look at the target. All right, well, first let me point out 2 shots from the first 5-shot group. This one I actually didn't notice from back there where I was shooting. It's right on a sticker and it kind of hid from my view. I didn't see that one. Then when I was aiming low, I was aiming way down about right here, and it just went about that high. So when on the next 5-shot group, I was aiming right at the middle of the city, and of course I'm just shooting one hand and offhand, but I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So not a great group, but again, one-handed, offhand, and shooting at just about 15 yards with a little 4-inch barrel. So I'll take it. I'm happy with it. Now I'm curious about what sort of energy and velocity I'm getting from this. So why don't we just take 5 shots over the chronograph and see how that goes? Okay, I've got the Wells Fargo Revolver here on the Caldwell Pistolero rest, and just ahead of me I've got the Caldwell Ballistic Precision Chronograph. So let's go ahead and see what type of velocity and energy I get with this little gun. Oh, that was an error. Oh, got a cap jam. Let's give that just a moment. All right, well, for an average velocity, we've got 745 feet per second. That's not too bad for such a little gun and a little powder charge of 12 grains. And right here on the screen, you'll see written the energy in foot-pounds. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this look today at the little tiny Wells Fargo 31 caliber revolver from Uberti. Please don't forget to click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. And if you look in the description, you'll see where to find me on social media, as well as where to find great Guns of the West products. Thank you so much for watching.